Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News on Shui FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kasmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Pressure continues to mount on President Akufo-Addo to declare a state of emergency over Galamsey menace. This afternoon, some Catholic priests are leading a protest walk to back their demand.
It's their way of looking at the ecology, the way they look at nature. Nature is created for us to take care of. And therefore, we pray that with this prayer, God will listen to our prayers.
We'll have the latest on this also coming up. Accra Circuit Court denies application by lawyers for anti-Galamsey protester Elom Abebio, asking that she be allowed to travel out of Ghana to attend a conference. Much later on the program, Electoral Commission begins printing notices of poll for December 7, 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. We have details for you. Thank you very much for joining us today. Now, the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra, in partnership with a conference of major superiors of religious and Catholic lay faithful and professionals, is embarking on an environmental prayer protest walk against Galamsey. This is happening today. Now, this initiative aims to raise awareness about the devastating impact of illegal mining, commonly known as Galamsey, and to call for urgent government action to address this issue. National President for Peace, Justice and Creation for the Catholic Church, Father Nicholas Azine, spoke to Noble Crosby Annan earlier. Listen.
With this prayer walk, if you like.
We're praying to God, and it's our hope that God will listen to our prayers and He will touch the hearts of people, that they will change their way of looking at the ecology, the way they look at nature. Nature is created for us to take care of. And therefore, we pray that with this prayer, God will listen to our prayers.
You have plans of presenting a petition to the President, to Parliament, as well as other stakeholders. What would this petition contain?
When we present it to him, we'll share with the media about it. But basically, it's still on the Galamsey,
right,
and the ways and means we can all address this situation.
Going forward, the government has also indicated that it's begun taking steps to, if you like, correct the crisis we're in. For instance, when Parliament reconvenes, this controversial LI will be repealed amongst others. Is it not something you're confident can happen or will help, or you want more than what government says it is doing right now?
Oh, well, we're thanking God that things are beginning to happen. That is the first thing. And we are also asking God to add many more things to curtail what we are seeing. So either way, whether they have started or not, is good. We'll be praying and asking that the soldiers and police that have been sent to that place, the Lord will protect them, and then they will be able to achieve what they are doing. And we're also praying that more measures will be made or put in place.
Beyond this walk, this prayer walk, will there be anything else in the coming days?
Yeah, sure. We will engage some of the chiefs in the areas where our people are working. We'll also engage the youth in the areas where.
And you had the man leading that march, National President for Peace, Justice and Creation for the Catholic Church, Father Nicholas Azine, speaking to Noble Crosby Annan earlier. We'll connect to Noble Annan very shortly. But ahead of that, a security expert, Colonel Festus Abuaje, retired, has described the deployment of the military to tackle illegal small-scale mining as the laziest approach to addressing the threat to national security.
We all know that by 2018-2019, the combating Galamsey was halted. The military may have been around the country for other reasons, like Operation Calm Life and so on and so forth, but definitely not to combat Galamsey. We have heard political actors telling us from the government side that Galamsey will not stop today, it will not stop tomorrow. That if they stop, they will lose power, and that party needs money. So politicians must not take us for dummies to say that it is an ongoing effort and just use words, to mesmerize Ghanaians. There was no effort that was ongoing. The 850 people who have been arrested and that the political actors are trying to suggest that are before court, how many of them are the financiers who buy caterpillars over and above $100,000? Or is it the Goro boys covered in mud that we have gone to arrest? Today we have destroyed this number of chamfans and so on. And I think I heard from your report that the perpetrators have run away because they got a hint.
Yes.
You see it. Now, I am not faulting the military at all. But if I were giving that command before this 4A movement, I would have sent advanced teams to go and cut off some of the escape routes.
Right.
And arrest as many as could be possible. Because if we don't arrest the people and we don't bring them to trial, including their financiers, we're wasting time. And I'm suggesting what the government is doing is just to confuse us.
Okay.
You cannot write to them about this plan.
Colonel.
It's not a plan.
And you have the security expert, Colonel Festus Abuaje, retired. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Eric Nyamiche, says the fight against illegal mining can only be won if Ghanaians have shared values as a country. Apostle Nyamiche was speaking to the youth leadership of the Church of Pentecost at the Younger Generation Politicians and Leaders Conference.
To be a manager of God's earth, and that if the human being is not managing what God has freely provided for us, and then we spoil it, we corrupt it. So when we are talking about corruption, it's not only about bribery, over invoicing and invoicing. It's about our water bodies. It's about air pollution and all that. All these are corruption. Nepotism and favoritism, they are all corruption. And so we are organizing this particular conference, trying to raise a new crop of politicians who will love this nation and then who also want to change the Ghanaian. I said that the center of economy that many flag bearers will use, or politicians who will say, when I come, I'll change the economy and all that. If you don't change the behavior of the people, you can't change the behavior of the money, because money is handled by the human being. Now the human being will construct the road. If you don't change the human being's behavior, the road you construct will be corrupted, because in 2 years you can't use the road again. This is what.
And you have the Apostle Nyamiche, who is with the Church of Pentecost, and still staying a bit longer on this. Artisanal small-scale miners and community miners in Obuasi are once again urging the government to press mining giant AngloGold Ashanti to relinquish its abandoned concessions in a bid to create job opportunities and reduce illegal mining in the area. The group argues that the move would not only alleviate the rising unemployment rate, but also rejuvenate the local economy. Ibrahim Abubakar joins us live on the line. Ibrahim, what can you tell us? One more.
Oh, Beatrice, already there has been a long-standing feud between the youth of Obuasi and AngloGold Ashanti, which has even resulted in clashes, people getting injured and the likes. And it's all because they want AngloGold to release part of their concession, which they say has been abandoned for a long time, so that they engage with their rock mining activity. Now, when you go to Obuasi, most of them are engaged in the rock mining activity rather than the alluvial mining, because it is alluvial mining that pollute water bodies and also destroy farmland. So they are saying that over the years they have pressed on, they have asked government to intercede, and it is even part of the reason why you now have some of them also moving into the alluvial mining activity, which in return also pollute water bodies and destroy forests. So they want government to once and for all intervene, engage AngloGold extensively so that they release that part of the concession for them to forestall all these clashes and the rest, and also create unemployment for the youth of Obuasi. Francis Anto is the spokesperson of the small-scale miners.
The people of Obuasi are environmentally friendly rock miners. There is no single river or forest that has been destroyed by rock miners within Obuasi. It is due to the closure of rock mining on the proposed abandoned mining sites of the company that has led many of the youth in Obuasi into alluvial mining, which is causing a great harm to our water bodies and our forest reserve. Honorable, striving for years to assess the viability of the site for a smooth takeoff of community mining scheme, there is a lingering challenge between our association and AngloGold Ashanti Obuasi mine on the use of the land, which needs your immediate intervention. The occasional use of the state security to brutalize and torment the young people of Obuasi in search of livelihoods without destroying the environment should not be entertained. We believe that without human security, the state security cannot materialize. We will avail ourselves for the mutual engagement and for the mutual gains of all, and promise to abide by all mining regulations when approved for the benefit of our members, the benefit of the company, the benefit of the nation, and for the benefit of the environment.
And you heard the spokesperson of the Small Scale Miners Association in the Ashanti region, Francis Anto, speaking to journalists earlier. Earlier, you also heard our reporter in that part of the country, Ibrahim Abubakar, bringing us update from there back to Accra. And the Circuit Court here has denied an application by lawyers for anti-Galamsey protesters Elom Abebio, asking that she's allowed to travel out of Ghana to attend a conference. 9 out of the 52 protesters on bail were also in court for continuation of their trial. Lord Edwasare is our court correspondent. He joins us live on the line. Lord, what more can you report about today's proceedings?
That 9 of the protesters were granted bail. They're in different batches, and so today the batch that, or the set that had Elom Abebio, also known as Ama Governor, came to court today. When the case was called, the prosecution indicated that they had far come documents which will help them in their trial, but they prayed for additional time because they said they were not done. And at that point, lawyers for Ama Governor told the court that their clients had to go for a conference in Mozambique from 13th to 18th, and so they were praying the court to, as it were, permit her to travel out of the jurisdiction. But the prosecution in response indicated that this was a new development they were unaware of, and that the defense had to file or apply for the application formally and serve them. And so, listening to both sides, the presiding judge in the matter, Evelyn Asama, indicated that first, the prosecution should file their witness statements, which will help them with the prosecution of the case, and then declined or denying the permission being sought by lawyers for Ama Governor regarding her travel outside of the country. She indicated that for such a case, they don't have to make an oral application, but file the application or file the permission formally to the court before that can be granted. So that was disallowed. But looking at the situation, today is Friday, and she's supposed to go on Sunday, so the dynamics are quite challenging, as it were. The case has now been adjourned to 30th of this month, but the prosecution are supposed to file their disclosures and witness statements before October 25. You recall another person, Benjamin Akufu, he was arrested or picked up after he went to visit the already arrested protesters while in jail. And so he was also brought to court today. He's already been granted bail. His case was also heard. And again, the prosecution was asked to file their witness statements as regards his case. So that's what happened in court today, Beatrice.
Beyond that, though, were some of the protesters there, especially those who were released, any demeanor shown?
Well, they were happy to be out, but they were particularly surprised and upset about the entire situation. So there was another, one of the protesters, Emmanuel, his story was that he went to his wife had just delivered, and on his way to go visit her, he was bundled up with the other protesters and jailed. So his lawyer was praying the court to drop or strike out the charges leveled against him because he wasn't part of the protesters to begin with. Now, in the case of Amma Governor, once the court denied the application for her to travel out of the jurisdiction, she broke down in tears in court. And her lawyers have been saying that, well, per the conditions of the circuit court at the time she was granted the bail, part of the conditionalities was that she would report to the police every week and then deposit her Ghana card to the court registry. It didn't say anything about her inability to travel out of the country, so they were also raising that point when I spoke to them later. So that also happened, Beatrice.
Thank you very much, Lord Edwasare. He's our court correspondent. Let's return to the march ground where the Catholic priests are marching in protest against illegal mining. Noble Crosby Annan is covering this for us. He joins us live on the line. Noble, can you tell us what's happening at the moment?
Well, at the moment, the protesters have made their way away from the Aqua J interchange, and they're heading towards. Yeah, they're still protesting, heading towards around the Ladekotopon constituency, still in their demand for action from the government. We're right now around cantonment. The priests, they are walking with hundreds of supporters, if you like, mainly Catholic church members or Catholic faithfuls, various groupings within the Catholic Church. They are the ones who have made up this protest, both the young and old, both men, women, pregnant women have also been cited here. We've seen some political groupings here, for instance, have cited the PNC and the flag bearer Bernard Moore, and interacting with him. He says that the Catholic Church, they form the larger chunk of the church population in the country. And he's hoping that because of that number alone, the number will press upon President Kufuor to act, and state agencies as well as government agencies to act against illegal mining.
Thank you very much, Noble Crosby Annan. He's a reporter with a Catholic priest currently on march against illegal mining. Some 18 minutes past the hour of 12. You're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. When we come back, we'll tell you what's going on between the Electoral Commission and the opposition in DC. Don't go away.
Big money, money, money. Want more money, more moolah, more kudi, more sika, or more l'argent?
Yes.
Then win more moolah with 30 Ghana Cedis free credit when you play Game Park's Pick 1 and Pick 4 games for the first time.
How?
Just dial *946# or visit the nearest Game Park agent to play, get your first bet, and win on us with a 30 Ghana Cedi welcome bonus.
Oh, yes. It's all about the moolah.
Win more moolah with Game Park today. Go to GameParkGames.com for more information. Game Park is licensed by the NLA. Play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under 18 years.
You're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Thank you for staying. Now, the Electoral Commission is printing notices of poll for the December 7, 2024 general presidential and parliamentary elections. This follows an earlier statement from the Commission indicating that the printing of the ballot papers was also set to start today, October 11. However, after criticism from the largest opposition party, the National Democratic Congress, the Commission released another statement later Thursday evening to clarify that it will only be printing notices of poll. The EC also announced that it will use 40,975 polling stations to conduct the December 7, 2024 polls. And we do have on the line with us Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. He's Deputy Director in charge of IT and elections for the NDC. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, dear. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. Now, the Electoral Commission earlier mentioned that the start of printing of notices or poll and ballot papers, even providing the names and locations of 8 printing houses. The NDC raised concerns. I remember we spoke earlier. And now there seems to be a U-turn. I'm wondering what you think about that.
Very well. We've just even closed meeting with the Electoral Commission this morning before I came on air. and we had a very fruitful discussion with them over the printing of the notices of polls. As we indicated yesterday, the yesterday meeting was not a properly organized meeting because the agents they invited didn't have locals to take decision on our behalf. So they invited leadership, and we went and saw the notice of poll. We signed onto each of our candidates. We are satisfied as NDC. Our candidate picture, his name properly spelled, the logo of the NDC properly done. We are satisfied. So I signed on behalf of our NDC. Our opponents also signed, but there are two issues. I mean, the Afafranto, they had problem with their colors of their logo. And then one independent, Andrews, also had issue with his logo. So they have two issues. But for us, we are saying that apart from the notice of polls that we have signed on to, printing of ballots, we are not into it. They themselves are admitted they are not doing any printing of ballots as of now, because they have not given us statistics of the ballot statistics. They have not given us a certified register. And so for these two, they need to come clean on that. And now that they've admitted to it and said, yes, we have agreed, we are not doing any printing of ballot. And then we'll get ready when we prepare the statistics and we'll give it to the political parties before we can proceed. Fair enough. We give them that benefit of doubt, but we'll proceed with the printing of the notice of polls.
Beyond this issue, though, the Commission also announced that voting on December 7 will take place at a total of 40,647 polling stations. Have you been informed when the final register will be released to determine the voter numbers?
Well, they have not indicated to us. What we do know is that they've just given us the polling stations that they will be using. Well, that is the first step. We are waiting for the numbers, which form part of the statistics. They are yet to do that. But they've just released another document to us indicating that the provisional voter register, with the discrepancies, if we see, they've given a template to that. If we see any problem with the provisional register, as they are about to give to us, because they haven't given us, but they've already sent us a template to that. So you see, it's like they've brought the cart before the horse, because we have not been given the register yet we've been given the template. So we're waiting for the register.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer, Deputy Director in charge of RT and elections for the opposition NDC. We stay longer on the party, and the national chairman of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nkatia, has expressed concerns about the declining voter turnout in the Volta region. Mr. Nkatia, who is on a 4-day campaign tour, said the party needs a significant number of votes from the region, considered the party's stronghold to boost its chances of winning the December 7 polls, and urged party supporters to come out in their numbers to vote.
I'm not going to teach you how to vote correctly, but I'm coming to beg you to avoid complacency. If you are living in town, you have the tendency of assuming that one vote does not count. So you can go to your farm, other people will vote, and Gabi will win. Please, that is not the end of the story. There are people who vote against us elsewhere. So bring all the votes together so that the excess can be used to cancel out votes in enemy territories. So the turnout in Volta region is a matter of concern to us. Please, they will bring military, they will bring security.
And you heard that Johnson Asiedu Nkatia is the chairman of the opposition National Democratic Congress. We do have our correspondent Faisal Abdul Idrisu monitoring this event. He joins us live on the line. Faisal, one more. Can you tell us about what Mr. Asiedu Nkatia said and the reaction to his words?
Well, the national chairman of the NDC is of the view that the Volta region remains the stronghold of the party, and that in the previous elections, they have realized that there's a decline in the number of people who turn up to vote, considering the huge number of people on the voters register. And so for them to be able to win the election, they will need all the numbers, every single person, every single vote from the vote region. The reaction has been a very welcoming one from party people, particularly because they are the majority of the persons he's speaking to on the ground. And for them, the task they have ahead is to enter every home, to urge residents in every community they find themselves as party members to be able to get the people to the polling center on the day of election, to get people to vote massively for the party. There is that impression that the NDP is creating in the vote regions that since the coming of the MPP into office for almost 8 years now, they haven't really felt development. And that is something I think the people agree with. And so for them, the election on December 7th, a statement they would have to make to redeem themselves, the statement they would have to make to ensure that development returns to them.
And you heard Faisal Abdul Idrisu. He is correspondent in the Volta region. Let's head now to the Upper East region, where we understand that the Regional Security Council has visited Boko following that clash between security officers there. We brought you that story earlier yesterday. Castro Senyala is our man there. He joins us live on the line. Castro, what can you report?
Yes, so at the moment we are in the Boko Secondary School where the RESEC is meeting all security personnel in the Boko area. Firstly, the regional minister led the RESEC to pay to the Boko Naba, where he has stressed the need for security agencies to work together in unison to ensure that the country is well protected, considering that across the border, trouble is going on in neighboring Burkina Faso. He has also assured the Boko Naba that none of this incidents would happen in Boku again, because if they continue to happen, they would derail the efforts of peace building. At the moment, like I stated earlier on, they are locked up in the Boku High School, where the security agents are being called to not let their uniforms to.
Oh, we lost that line to Castro Senyala, but he is our Upper East Regional correspondent, bringing us update from there. And here in Accra, some 777 lawyers have been called to the bar, marking the 61st call to the bar ceremony. The lawyers have been admonished to be change agents in the dispensation of their duties. Let's listen to the Chief Justice who spoke at this event, Getu Tokonu.
Many started with you and are yet to complete all required papers. Some almost breasted the tape, but for acts that raise questions about their integrity, compelling the General Legal Counsel to conduct further investigations into these issues, they are not with you this morning. You have therefore passed the test of competence and moral character, and this is no small challenge. Clap for yourselves. At every stage in this journey, you have had to stretch your minds with new concepts, new doctrines, precepts, and structures of law. This is why we must all say a very deserving ayiko to all of you who have been able to endure and complete this program of study. Now that you have finished these studies as a foundation for knowing the law, you are going to encounter the real scope of the law and the extent to which law is the foundation of every human activity. You are going to find that the fact situations you have to deal with in solving problems are as many as the experiences of life. The world is a continuously evolving and changing place. From a simple examination of history, the historical, sociological, and political structures of humanity in antiquity are not the same or even similar to the world that we are in now. Neither is the world of even the last century, the 20th century, anything like that of this early part of the 21st century.
And you heard that the Chief Justice, Gertrude Tokonu, speaking at that ceremony, which is still ongoing, where some 777 lawyers have been called to the bar. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us today. Log on to shrinews.com for more news. Have a good afternoon.
Hello there, good afternoon and welcome to Business Daily on 3FM 92.7 with me, Michael Obodu. Coming up, end in sight for Songo Lagoon salt mining dispute as new outgrower scheme is launched to promote inclusiveness and address illegal mining challenges.
So we listened to the Parliament and we have since started working with Mineral Commission. This scam falls under tributary system. It is only the Mineral Commission that has the right to give out a concession.
And the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, rejects claims of LPG shortage as it assures public of adequate supply. Details of these and more coming up shortly. Please stay. Well, thank you so much for your time. Straight into our top story. In an effort to resolve the ongoing dispute with the Ada community, Electrochem has launched its community outgrower scheme to promote inclusiveness and address illegal small salt mining challenges. Recently, a clash occurred between small-scale salt miners along the Songo Lagoon enclave and officials of Electrochem, which tragically resulted in the death of a small-scale miner. Following parliamentary intervention, the company has set aside 2,000 acres of its concession in the Songo Lagoon to community members and interested businesses, allowing them to participate in salt mining legally. Abdul Razak Adam is Chief Executive of Electrochem Ghana Limited.
So we listened to the Parliament and we have since started working with Mineral Commission. So this scam falls under tributary system. It is only the Mineral Commission that has the right to give out a concession. Even though we have a 15-year lease on this concession, we are still subjected to the rules and regulation of the Mineral Commission. So a month ago, we engaged the Mineral Commission to guide Electrochem on how we would implement the tributary system whereby these lands are ceded to the people to do mining. And I'm glad to tell you that even though the concession is 42,000 acres, in reality, a larger portion of the concession is habited by mangroves, water bodies, settlements, churches, shrine, and other places that the company do not intend to get into mining. You come to realize that the mineable areas is only about 7,000 acres. Out of this 7,000 acres, Electrochem is seeding out approximately 2,000 acres for the outgrower and non-community pan system.
So that was the Chief Executive Officer of Electrochem Ghana Limited, Abdul Razak Adam. Meanwhile, Nene Dame Sewu III, the Chief of Togbloku Oko and Secretary of the Ada Community Chiefs Association, expressed profound gratitude for the company's initiative to introduce the outgrower scheme. He further noted that the initiative was genuine despite allegations of deception, assuring, however, that should any such issues arise, they would find a resolution. But away from that, the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, has moved to reassure the public amid rumors of an imminent shortage of liquefied petroleum gas LPG in Ghana, dismissing claims made by the LPG Marketers Association. The association had previously warned that a shortage could begin next week, causing concern amongst consumers. This report has the details. The vice president of the LPG Marketers Association, Gabriel Kumi, recently warned in media reports that the country's current stock of LPG would only last for a week. He attributed this to a myriad of reasons and urged the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, to expedite efforts in addressing the situation.
The 3 depots put together will give us about 8,000 metric tons physical stock. Now, our national consumption is about 1,000 metric tons a day. Today is the 10th of October. The next vessel is expected in the country at the end of the month, which means that we need about 20,000 metric tons to sustain us till the end of the month. Atuabo is not back on stream as we speak. Ghana Gas is still struggling with production. If we are genuinely concerned about consumers, this is the time for us to ensure that there is abundant supply of the product on the market.
However, the NPA has intervened to ease concerns. In a statement, the regulator assured the public that measures are in place to ensure a steady supply of LPG to meet national demand. It added that over 20,000 metric tons of LPG is scheduled to be delivered latest by October 27 under the LPG tender program. It further stressed that there was sufficient LPG supply to last till the expected consignment arrives. Now, the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, has issued a stern warning that it may have to seek the intervention of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, to compel the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, to operate a single bank account. This move is in response to the persistent failure of the power company to comply with repeated directives from the President and the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, to consolidate its financial operations.
According to the African Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, the ECG's current practice of operating 61 separate bank accounts across 16 financial institutions is a significant barrier to transparency and accountability. This fragmented accounting structure makes it difficult for auditors to track the company's cash flows and increases the risk of financial impropriety. The energy think tank highlighted that the ECG's financial shortfalls have been a major burden on government. These shortfalls have ballooned from 295 million cedis in 2017 to 9.7 billion cedis by 2022, and the situation has continued to deteriorate. ACEP cited data from the PURC, which showed that the ECG experienced under-recoveries of 13.6 billion cedis between August 2023 and July 2024, with a shocking revenue collection rate of only 43% during this period. The Energy Sector Recovery Program estimates that power sector shortfalls between 2019 and 2023 amounted to approximately $8.25 billion, placing an unsustainable strain on public resources. The total energy sector debt currently stands at around $1.74 billion, with over $1.2 billion owed in legacy IPP debts, $450 million owed for gas payment, $20 million debt to WAPCO, and revenue under recoveries of some $67 million by the ECG.
Now, away from that, the State Interest and Governance Authority, SIGA, has revealed 145 out of the 175 state-owned enterprises are now compliant with the law with regards to the publication of their financial statements. This is a significant increase from only 2 compliant SOEs as at 2016. Speaking at the Boardroom Governance Summit, acting Director General of SIGA, Mr. John Buedu, stated that this was a result of strategic leadership.
In the year 2016, for instance, the entire 175 state entities, at the end of the year, it is only 18 of them that were able to provide both management and audited financial accounts. 18 of them. Out of the 18, only 2 was able to publish their audited financial accounts. So how do you account for the people, for the stewardship that you've been mandated to do for this nation? And you're talking about 800 billion Ghana cedis worth of assets in your hands. And for a whole year, only 2 out of 175. With purposeful leadership, we've moved, as we speak now, close to 145 out of these 175 entities are accounting both financial and both audited and management accounts for the first time in our history.
So that was the Acting Director General of the State Interest and Governance Authority, SIGA, John Buedu. They're bringing an end to the Business Daily here on 3FM 92.7. For more business stories, please check out our website. It's 3news.com/business. I am Michael Obodu. Thank you for listening. As always, please stay safe.